an entire world out there of tea that I never knew existed. They taught us that, but we didn't really do it.
And if you work for us, you better do it.
If you got a coffee shop, focus on your tea program if you're going to serve it. Lately, I have really gotten on the matcha train.
I would say gotten into is a little mild. I think he's hyperfixated on matcha.
I really want to know, because I'll just tell you right now, if this stuff is the same, it's going to save me so much money. Hey guys, welcome to the Coffee Snob podcast, Coffee Life Unfiltered. I'm Lance. This is my beautiful wife, Chelsea, as you know already, probably. And we, today, are going to talk about tea. I know we talk about coffee. This is what we do. We talk about life in the coffee business. But tea is actually a really big part of that. And after I got to love coffee so much, I got introduced to tea and I absolutely fell in love with it. So that's actually what we're going to talk about today is how we got into that, what we're doing now, how we found good tea, because it's kind of hard to find. Yeah, you got anything to add to that?
Yeah, I think this is just our tea journey.
Yeah.
Because anything that I think that we get into, it's like a process, and we're still in that process. I think we're learning. We're definitely not tea experts. We're kind of tea snobs, but we are just still learning about all the different nuances and different cultures, and we love tea. I love tea.
Yeah.
It's like, for me, especially black tea is the caffeine fix that I need, the caffeine fix with like no jitters, you know. So I really appreciate tea, flavor wise, and
I feel like we're from the South, so in the South, people love tea. They love iced sweet tea. That's it. Don't bring them hot tea. They don't want green tea. They don't know what oolong tea is. They don't want a herbal blend of tea. They just want a big thing of iced sweet tea. Like, think of Uncle Si on Duck Dynasty. Like, that's what the South knows about tea.
That's my tea memories from my childhood growing up, and not really my family, but when I would go to friends' house. Yeah. They called it Bubba tea because it was so sweet, and Bubba made it.
Because your teeth look like Bubba teeth after you drink it a few years?
And so it was always sweet tea. Every house in Texas has some sweet tea.
Yeah, it's like a hospitality thing.
Yeah.
But the thing that we learned about tea was that there is a lot more to tea than just black tea.
Whole world.
There is an entire world out there of tea that I never knew existed. I finally got introduced to it, and I will never go back.
Yeah, that was a fun trip. We're going to tell you about it. We went to China and got to tour a tea farm.
So we actually went to China with some friends who had connections to a coffee farm there in the very southwest part of China. It's actually in the tropic, that little scoop down there. And it was amazing. Like, the dude who does the coffee, I actually just got some samples from him maybe about a month ago of different coffees that he's producing now, because he has actually 3 different processing methods now. He just had the one semi-wash processing method, which is pretty typical of Asia. But now he's doing 3 processing methods, which goes to show you, the specialty coffee industry is really changing the game right now in China. And the coffees that he sent me were, absolutely amazing. They weren't junk. They were really good.
I love how we're doing a tea podcast and Lance is still talking about coffee.
Well, it's great. And you got to know who the guy is first. So this is a coffee farmer. And I think it was his brother or his brother-in-law. It was a family member.
This was 12 years ago, so I don't remember.
Who did the tea farm. So he has just imagine we go way up in elevation into the mountains in southwest China. We're getting real close to Nepal. Not Nepal, we're getting really close to Burma. And I mean, we're talking way high elevation. And then you start seeing these terraces, think of your clip art on your homepage of your computer kind of terraces.
Beautiful.
And it's like all these terraces of just these little tea bushes that are going all over the place, and they kind of snake along the side of the mountain. It was absolutely incredible, life-changing trip, so good. But that's where I first got introduced to tea. So I don't even know if I have that tea around here. Hang on a second.
They have we were there, they had women with bags on their shoulders, and they just go in and pick the little green leaves off the tips, the new growth. And those bushes were 400 and 500 years old.
Not those particular bushes, but the ones that actually make this tea. So where we went is actually where they make pu'er tea from, which is a tea that's exclusively from China. It comes in these cakes like this, and it's aged. And so that's all tea, all pressed together. It's super awesome.
Yeah, so you just break off like a little chunk of it, and then you put it in your cup, and then you pour your hot boiling water over it.
And so actually the tea leaves that make this are actually, they're from tea trees that are not hundreds of years old. These tea plants are thousands of years old.
Ancient.
And they're tall. They're like, they're as tall as this building. They get on ladders and they actually harvest this tea. And then they have two different types. Some they do like more modern processing on. And then the really fine stuff is actually, they do it over a fire. And so it adds all this smokiness to the pu'er tea.
Right.
And it's incredible stuff. You can actually get it from Rishi. They have all different types of pu'er teas there that they get from this region, from these people.
Yeah.
Super cool.
It's how they dry it. So the process is how they dry the teas.
And they ferment it, yeah.
Yeah. So
super neat.
We got a cup of tea, and there they call it red tea. Mm-hmm. And so it's scorching hot in the middle of the summer, and everybody is sweating and just sipping hot tea.
Everybody drinks hot tea because the water's not too great there. And so you got your tea leaves, you got clean water because it's been boiled, and you pour it over your red tea, which is actually like a oolong tea. Awesome stuff. So this is something that's really precious to us. And we actually have a few different boxes of these that we got from, and it ages. And so that's what's really cool about it too, is that it doesn't go bad.
So I actually have a cake that I didn't bring that I have up in like a dark, dry place. That tea was dried over 50 years ago, 12 years ago. So it's probably 65 years old.
Yeah, and it develops a lot more character as it ages. So yeah, we got like 65-year-old tea. It's super awesome. Like, it's something that's really prized. We actually went to a tea shop of a friend of ours. Actually, it's a friend of the friend.
Right.
He's a friend of ours now, though, and he owns a tea shop, and so we got to do like a whole like ceremonial tea tasting with him. Just like super cool, super awesome. So that was my introduction into the world of tea. Before that, I didn't really know anything about it besides maybe what I learned at Starbucks, which was add the hot water to the tea bag, hand it to the customer, and smile.
One thing about that you did learn at Starbucks that was important was the different temperatures that you brew at. It was pretty precise there. They wanted you to be precise, which is important because there is a difference. So if everybody's just pouring boiling water over whatever tea you get, that might cause the flavor to be bitter.
Yeah.
It might not be good. So with each tea, there is a different process for brewing and for preparing. So I think Starbucks taught you that because they were pretty.
They taught us that, but we didn't really do it. It was more about the coffee. It was like with the tea. I'm telling you, with tea. And
if you work for us, you better do it.
It gets overlooked so much because it's not the focus. A lot of times at a coffee shop, it's not a tea shop. So it's a secondary thought. And so that's another big thing is like, if you've got a coffee shop, focus on your tea program if you're going to serve it. And that's really why I picked the teas that we have, because I want our tea to taste as good as our coffee does.
Yeah.
I want it to be tip-top quality. I want it to be the highest quality tea that we can possibly get our hands on. And so actually the process of getting that was a really interesting one too. So we wanted to start doing tea. We saw some like Republic of Tea and some other like really pretty companies out there at other coffee shops. And I thought, okay, maybe this is the direction we need to go. And then I thought to myself, I want the absolute best tea. So like if someone was absolutely
a snob.
If someone was absolutely obsessed with tea, like they were like, oh my gosh, like I won't drink anything else but the best. Like what tea are they drinking and where are they getting it from and how do they find it? And so probably for a month, I just like scoured the internet trying to find the best teas in the world and where to get them from. Because I'm like, surely there's a company in America who has them. So there are a few companies who have like freaky good tea and who just, they're as bad about tea as some of these coffee companies are about coffee. Like they only want the best.
Yeah.
So
at this table, we invited all our tea snob friends.
Yeah.
Which is a select few, but we invited them, and we poured cups blind.
So I contacted these companies and said, hey, like I'm trying to find the best teas ever. Like, could you just send me, like, give me your best shot. Like, give me your best shot. So they're like, well, first, show me a tax ID so I know that you're not just trying to get free tea, And so I kind of like went through their little hoops, and then they sent me like boxes of samples.
Yeah.
And we had, I don't know, we probably had 50 cups on the table. So I just bought cases of mason jars and just lined them up all the way around the table. I got the water to the correct temperatures for each tea. We started weighing tea out in all of them, and then we would make like a set of, say, black teas. And we gave everybody, 4 stars?
Right.
To put next to the ones that they like.
And if every company had sent us an Earl Grey style, then we tasted those side by side.
We grouped the Earl Greys together.
But then if they had a special black tea or their blend or a mango black and this one had something else, then we would also taste some of their individual specialty
And they
blends.
were phenomenal. Like, they were all phenomenal. We had teas that were actually, some of them were just sticks and stems.
Yes.
And it was like, it was so weird.
So good.
They were amazing, though. I was like, oh my gosh, like, and so, like, I'm thinking through all this, too, as far as, like, I know logistically in my coffee shop, I'm going to have to serve these, and I'm going to have to keep them fresh, and people aren't going to be, like, knocking down the door for them at first, so I'm trying to, like, think through, like, how do I open this package and keep it fresh? And
poor tea, it's so misunderstood.
Yeah, and so I'm trying to do justice to the tea as well. So all the stars ended up going, there was a couple companies, there was a few companies, and most of the stars went to Rishi tea. And so that's why we ended up going with Rishi, because they're just fantastic.
Over, Rishi tea outperformed on all of our taste tests.
Yeah, and they have a commitment to get the highest quality, organically grown tea that they can find. If they can find it organic, they go with that first. And then from there, they just try to find the really good tea.
I think all the tea of theirs that we carry is organic.
I think most of it is. And that's the thing. They even say, like, if it doesn't say organic on it, a lot of times it is organic. They just don't. It's not certified, so they can't put it on the bag. Like, so that's a real cool commitment from them that I really like, because this is something that, like, me and my customers are going to drink, so I don't want to, like, give them stuff that's not good. Anyway, so we went through, we tasted these teas, we landed on Rishi. I really like Rishi as well because they individually package teas as well as give you bulk. So if you want a bulk thing of tea, like in a jar, they can do that. The problem with that is you have to go through that kind of within a month or so, or you start to lose some of the sharp, like, define flavors of that tea. And so it's really important that you're moving through it. Now, with the packages, they're sealed. And I think they fill them with nitrogen as well. So that tea is going to stay good for like a year. So in our shop, we carry the packages just because that's the best way to do it. Now, lately, I have really gotten on the matcha train.
I would say gotten into is a little mild. I think he's hyperfixated on matcha.
Okay, fine. Hyperfixated train. So
our children are making matcha lattes every morning.
I taught them how to make matcha, so now they're doing it.
They use this cute little bamboo whisk, and they're like mixing their stuff, and they've got their little thermometer, and they're 11 and 13.
Oh, no, you're just gonna bend it.
Oh, sorry.
Okay, so.
Oh my gosh.
So anyway, so I'm into matcha right now. So right now we're gonna do like a little matcha tasting. I got some water here that's right around 165. Okay, 165, 160 is like the sweet spot for green tea. You don't want to brew it any hotter than that because it'll get bitter. And I tell people that all the time. I'm just trying to help you out here. So we have a few different matchas here.
So don't put boiling water on green tea.
Don't do it.
Ever.
Don't.
And set a timer.
It doesn't take long. You're talking like 2-3 minutes on a green tea.
Take the bag out.
So what I like about this though, okay, so these are matcha powders. So this is actually the finest green tea leaves that you can get. The little baby green tea growth that's coming off the top. They pick those leaves off because they're super delicate and soft. They dry them out, and then they grind these into a powder that's so fine that it will dissolve into water. So that's why I really like this particular tea, because you get that real just big punch of flavor. And a lot of times green teas are a lot more subtle. And they're a lot more like vegetable-y kind of tasting. Even really nice.
Yeah.
And really floral. You get a lot of like flowery notes to them. This stuff is like high caffeine.
How high?
High flavor.
Not higher than espresso.
No. It's not like a coffee, but it's up there. It's a lot of caffeine. But the beautiful part of tea is that it has a compound in it that your body can't break down very quickly, and as your body's breaking it down, all the caffeine molecules actually latch on to this chemical, and so your body can't get to the caffeine because it's trying to break down the chemical that the caffeine molecules are all attached to. And so that's why when you drink tea, you don't get that big jolt like you do with espresso or coffee. And the crash.
It's like this.
It's more like a real even, and then you come back down. And this has a lot of amino acids in it and other properties that are actually really good for your health as well. So we're going to try these out.
Green tea is full of antioxidants, and it also boosts the metabolism. Just
Boom.
So you know.
Boom.
So you know, boost your metabolism.
Boost the metabolism. Okay, so we have Rishi tea here. This is their tea house matcha. This is their highest quality blend of matcha that they have. We're going to try that one out. And I've tried this, and I'll just tell you, it is off the chain. Like,
he's already biased. I think
ridiculous.
We should do a blind test. But
ooh, we'll mix them up, and we'll label the bottom. That's a good idea. Yeah. Okay, this is the barista matcha. This has first and second flush matchas in it. So it has a little bit more of a tannin structure. If you're not familiar with like wine or coffee talk, tannins are bitter. They just add a little bit of bitterness to it. So this one has a little bit more of a bitterness for your matcha shots, for mixing with milk, for putting in drinks, and it can hold up to other flavors really well. This stuff is more just to drink by itself. Then we've got some Costco everyday 100% Japanese green tea powder, everyday matcha from Costco. And then we've got another thing from Costco that I haven't tried yet. Pure and natural organic superfood matcha green tea. So we're going to try these out against these just to see, like, hey, is it worth spending, 10 times the amount on these as this? Well, probably 20 times the amount on these as this, because that's real. Okay, so let me whip these up real quick. and then we'll give them a shot.
Okay.
How about that? We'll label the bottom of these cups. Boom. Here we go. Matcha whisk. Oh, too much water in there. Okay.
And so there's
That
no
is
upper-
every day.
Every day. I
The
think
more
it.
ancient it is.
I drank some that was over 100 years old when I was there. It was good. It's just not booming like these other ones. So you notice the color of this one isn't real bright like those other ones. Okay. Go for the big boys. I really want to know, because I'll just tell you right now, if this stuff is the same, it's going to save me so much money. See, you can even smell this stuff, how strong it smells. And it smells a lot more
right away.
floral and umami, like that that really, really savory, buttery smell. And you can really smell it in the tea house. You haven't tasted that one yet. Like this one is pretty good. Okay. This stuff is the big boy. And I don't know if you can see the color difference in that versus even the barista. And then check this stuff out compared to that. Side by side. Just not the same, you know? So you notice the color in them. It's like night and day. Okay, that'll work. I can't see anything. Okay.
Okay. I'm going to hand you a cup.
I don't want to knock anything over. Just put it in my hand.
Look.
Okay. It smells... Okay, I'd rate it... I don't know. That's hard. I need to try another one beside it to see.
Okay, you don't have to rate them. Just
Okay.
taste it. This is 1. This is 2.
Okay. That one's more bitter than the other one.
Okay. This one is 3.
Whoa. This one smells really good. And the flavor's way, way like denser, more vivid, way more buttery. I'm gonna say this is probably the tea house. I don't know yet. Go ahead.
And this is 4.
Give me that other one back.
3?
Yeah.
1, 3?
3. This one's like way more delicate. Give me 1 again. I'm not real crazy about that one. Give me 2. I don't even want to drink that.
Okay.
Okay,
Do you want-
I'm gonna say I probably like this one. It's the most well-rounded out of
Okay.
all of them. It's a little bit more bitter than the last one,
What?
but it's just more flavor.
Okay, that one was number 3.
This one was 3, yeah. Okay, can I take my blindfold off?
No!
No. Okay, sorry.
What are you doing?
Okay, what's going on now?
Okay, But that's your favorite.
I
Which
would
one
say
was your
between
second?
between 3 and 4, it's close. Let me try the 4 again. This one's my favorite. This one's my second favorite. The other two, it's okay.
Do you want to try them one more time?
No.
Okay.
Okay, what do we got? Tell me I like the cheap ones.
Look at the bottom. This is your favorite.
Okay, this is the tea house matcha. I like the really expensive one. This is the Costco stuff, the everyday matcha. That's not bad. It's really not bad.
This is the barista.
This one seemed void of flavor. And I don't know if I needed to add more tea, but if I made it the same, I'm not real crazy about this one because it just blended in. It just tasted too watery.
And that was the organic.
This one was disgusting.
Was?
Yeah, it was gross. Not real crazy about that one. But this everyday stuff is pretty good. I mean,
This is bitter.
I'll be honest with you, these two
You want to come try, Jared?
are actually really close. This one is like flavor explosion right here.
So, honestly, I can't
You can't really tell.
tell a huge difference because my palate is not what it used to be. We used to come up with flavor notes for people for things together, like if they were making cheese, they'd be like, come give us the flavors.
These are shockingly
and
similar.
now I cannot.
The everyday and the barista are actually real close. This stuff is just
A league of its own.
off the charts.
I do think that one is better. There's some kind of floral that's not in those. There's like a floral note.
It's floral, but it's like a savory, oily, like umami flavor. It's just ridiculous. But it shocked me how much the everyday matcha is actually pretty darn close. Like they did a good job on that.
Y'all can get it at Costco.
Costco, that stuff. 100% Japanese green tea powder. Everyday matcha. Good job.
Good job.
Costco.
Good job, folks.
So that's been my green tea journey.
We're still on the journey.
Yeah, we're still deciding. We got the new coffee shop coming in, so we're deciding, what kind of drinks we're going to make with this stuff, what we're going to do as far as like, are we going to use sweet matcha, or are we going to use like a regular matcha and then use sweetener with it? I think it comes out in the end probably about the same price because you're adding sugar to it both ways.
Yeah.
So,
and I think that's something as business owners that we're having to really factor in because, he's the creative and he's a snob, right? But I'm also the one like counting all the numbers. And so there does have to be a balance between your cost of your goods sold and your profit that you're wanting to make.
Yeah.
And so because we carry such high quality stuff, our profit margin isn't as high sometimes, but we are getting to share some top quality stuff with our friends and our customers.
Yeah,
and
so this is some other stuff that we got. There was some more super expensive cool stuff. It's like actually like a butterfly pea flour. But it's
not pea, not like butterfly pea.
Not butterfly pea, but
like a
ooh, and
you
some,
just
we got to clean that up. No.
lick it up.
So some of the drinks that we're going to be making, they're going to have that incorporated into it. They're going to have this new matcha incorporated into it. They're going to be really good. But, the way we kind of look at that is if we have a top quality ingredient, if it's super expensive, I don't really shy away from that because when I come up with prices, it's just percentages. And if it goes up too high, then I'd realize like, okay, this is unsellable. This is an unsellable product. I can't charge $18 for a drink. But with something like this flower powder that we're going to use, with something like these high quality green teas, if it pushes my cost up, say 30%, then I know that I can mark my price up 30% and still get it. So these drinks are going to be more in the $8 to $10 range instead of the $5 to $6 range. So that's just going to be the cost if you want to get a blue drink with pink in it and green and have it to be all organic, natural ingredients, but still have that nice kick of energy, but something that's really good for you. And I really think like when you're serving people something like that, something that's good for them, something that they want, and something that is exciting and interesting, and something that they can get passionate about, I really think it's easy to spend $8 on a drink like that. That's not a big deal because it's good for you.
I think people spend that or more, and what they're really racking up is just pumps of syrup.
Pumps of sugar.
They're paying for sugar.
Yeah.
And this is paying for something really unique, something that you just can't get anywhere. But I did like doing the side by side because if the flavor is good and it's a less expensive ingredient, that feels a little safer for me.
Yeah. I mean, it's a no-brainer, right? It's a no-brainer. Go with it.
Yeah. So this is fun. We have a photo album with our tea journey, that trip, and it's fun to go back and reminisce, but it's really fun on this platform to go back. And I don't know, I just felt really grateful that we had that experience. And
we got to see what the difference is in the tea. We got to see the process of green tea and the process of red tea, the process of black tea, the process of pu'er tea, like really interesting stuff. Even like this stuff, how they press it into cakes, and it's neat. It's a neat process. So
yeah, and I think it just gives you an appreciation for people and agriculture and people groups who are producing. Well, it's art. They're producing art, and it's really cool, and that we get to participate in that. We get to experience it.
Yeah. So one of the things that I really like to do, I've been kind of brainstorming on like, what's my mission? What's my purpose? What is it that drives all this? And really what I've boiled it down to is sharing something with someone that I'm excited about. Like, so getting something that I'm excited about and being able to share it with someone. And that's kind of like what this matcha does for me. That's what these new drinks that we're coming up with, that's what does it. So I'm really excited about these, and I cannot wait to share the new thing that I discovered with some of the customers that I love. So yeah.
We're never going to sleep tonight.
Yeah, we're going to be up all night. But it's going to be like a calm, chill. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, go ahead.
No, you go.
No,
you go.
Okay. Hey, thanks for watching the Coffee Snob podcast. What's the name?
The Coffee Life Unfiltered.
The Coffee Life Unfiltered.
You came up with that name.
I know. It's good. It's a good name. So, hey, like this episode, share it. It'd be cool to get some more likes, to get some more shares. Spread the news around. And come check us out. If you're in the Stephenville area, we got Lincolnville Country Store, we got Blackjack's, we got King Coffee. We'll see you there.